Sure. So in our practice, this has sort of turned into one of my areas of forte, although Hank, Kate, Garvey, Rebecca, and myself, all four of us are accredited by VA. They have an official accreditation process where you have to take an exam and you have certain CE requirements. So technically we can all handle it, but practically I'm the guy. We just have a couple of slides here. I suggested to Hank I'll take maybe 45 minutes on the couple of slides, and he frowned on that. So I'm going to try to blow through it a lot quicker, but it is a topic that I've given entire freestanding talks on. There's all sorts of veterans benefit programs of various sorts on here. What we happen to zero in on that's most valuable to many of our clients is non-service connected disability benefits. That interesting stat in the middle there are many, many living veterans and surviving spouses veterans that could qualify for this, but for any number of reasons they don't. They've never heard of it, they don't understand the rules. VA is not in the habit of trying to make it as easy as possible for claimants to navigate the waters the right way. So part of our idea here is this is a great resource. This is a tool in our toolbox that oftentimes is a good part of our planning. These maximum amounts here, they change every year, or they tend to change every year. The amount they'll pay depends on what category of a claim we're talking about. A single veteran can pay up to $1,794 per month. And understand something, aid and attendance, there's actually several different levels of this type of benefit you can get. There's a basic level, which basically means you're over the age of 65 and your income is low enough for their purposes. However, for most of our clients, they're having some additional health problems of some sort. And VA has sort of a bonus, a higher level of benefit that they could provide if we get them the right medical evidence. That's where the aid and attendance comes in. So a surviving spouse can get a benefit. They don't pay quite as much. They pay a little more if you have a married veteran, so it's a veteran who has a dependent spouse. And I can think of only maybe one time we saw this, but if we have a married couple and they're both were veterans themselves, they'll pay the highest amount. Now, as Hank said, the only constant is change, and it is very much the case that our VA benefit rules are about to get much more complicated. Exactly when it's going to change, your guess is as good as mine. They've had a couple years now where they've gone through an approval process, a rulemaking process, hemming and hawing, and the bottom line is what they are trying to do that I think they definitely will do, they just haven't ironed out the details, is they are creating a look-back period. One of the benefits for us is with Medicaid, because Medicaid has a 5-year look-back period. What it means is any plan we're trying to do, we do saying, hey, work with us, you've got to stay healthy for at least 5 years. VA, the nice thing is they've had no look-back period, so we have more flexibility. We can have you scurry around and do something today, and then in a month, we're in good shape. That's going to change. So we've embraced this as a concept, but since we haven't seen the exact rules, we don't know how we're going to try to deal with this. But essentially what they're going to do is they're going to say, if you've made a gift analogous to the way Medicaid looks at what a gift is, we're going to try to penalize you. There are some, as far as we know, the way they're planning on calculating it, there's some inherent unfairness to it. Because they're going to take the amount of the gift and they're going to divide it by the maximum benefit amount, basically what's going to happen is because a surviving spouse, the benefit level they could get is smaller, their formula is going to penalize them more, which there's no rational reason for them to do that, and yet that's the math they're looking at.
Probably one of the most important thing about these rules is if you know a train is coming and you're on the track, what do? You get off. Well, what we know about these rules is they're trained. There are probably between veterans and surviving spouses 3 million people that could be eligible. There are probably only around 400,000 people who get the benefit. What we know is if we do the planning to qualify a wartime veteran for this benefit, now, while the current rules are in place, there's nothing in the proposed rules that are going to go back and subject that existing planning to the look-back problem. And so if you know people who they or their spouse served during World War II, Korea, or Vietnam, please tell them there may be something there to help them when they need it if they take advantage of the rules today. That's what I'd like you to take away from this. I know we've got some folks here that could be eligible for this, or people in their family.
And do understand one important point. Sometimes folks will say to me, I'm a veteran, sign me up. Just because you're a veteran doesn't mean we can qualify you for this program, but we may, okay? So call us up, we will run through it. One last thing, as far as bureaucratic hassles, there's forms, there's paperwork, there's arcane rules, not as bad as Medicaid, but certainly challenging for the layman who thinks they're going to handle it themselves. So we're happy to help. As I said, VA, much like the Medicaid personnel, it's in their best interest not to make it easy for you. So we hope that we can be of service to you.